The galaxy trembled with anticipation. The Galactic Council, frustrated by humanity's resilience, had finally decided on a decisive action. A combined strike force of their most advanced ships was deployed to contain, intimidate, and, if necessary, destroy human explorers. Their numbers were overwhelming, and their technology unmatched. Captain Mira Saeed watched the approaching fleet from the bridge of the Endurance. Dozens of massive alien warships moved with precision, blocking potential escape routes. Behind them, smaller scout vessels flanked the edges, ready to track every human movement. Lieutenant Akira Chen tapped at his console. They've coordinated their fleet perfectly. If we engage directly, we will be outnumbered at least 10-1. Standard tactics will not work here. Mira nodded, her expression calm but determined. We will not fight blindly. Humanity survives because we adapt, we innovate, and we use every advantage. Prepare for evasive maneuvers and contingency protocols. This is not the time to fear. We will show them what humans are capable of. The first exchange came swiftly. The alien fleet fired a barrage of energy weapons at the human ships, hoping to disable them before they could react. The Endurance's shields flared, absorbing the impact, while smaller human vessels darted between attacks with astonishing agility. Humans had learned to use unpredictability as a weapon. They did not move in straight lines or expected patterns. Deploy drones, Mira ordered. Map the fleet and identify weak points. Every ship has a flaw and we will find it. The drones launched fast and nimble, weaving between enemy ships while transmitting real-time data back to human commanders. Engineers aboard the Endurance analyzed the information and suggested precise countermeasures, from temporary disruption pulses to minor but strategic energy strikes. On the planet below, exploration teams activated more of the ancient technology. Some devices amplified energy fields, creating temporary shields that extended into orbit. The humans' combination of ancient tech and modern ingenuity gave them an unexpected edge against the superior Council fleet. Dr. Lena Torres explained, "The ancients designed their systems to be adaptable. If we use them carefully, we can level the playing field, at least for a short time." Sergeant Rami Singh grinned. "Then let's show them the human way. Adapt, survive, and fight smart." As the battle intensified, the humans displayed something the Council had not anticipated: cooperation and rapid innovation under pressure. Engineers repaired systems mid-battle, pilots adjusted strategies in real time, and commanders coordinated attacks that were precise and unpredictable. Each victory, though small, sent a ripple of shock through the Council's ranks. Zarek observed from the Council chamber, his tendrils trembling with disbelief. They are not just surviving, they are countering, striking back with intelligence and strategy. Their ability to adapt is unlike anything we have seen in a young species. Orlin hissed in frustration. "We cannot allow this. They are becoming more than a threat. They are showing us that courage and creativity are as powerful as technology. Humanity must be stopped before they grow stronger." But the humans' counterattack was only beginning. Using data collected from the alien ships, Lieutenant Chen identified vulnerabilities in the fleet's energy distribution systems. Human engineers on the Endurance and accompanying vessels synchronized their attacks, sending pulses that disabled key systems on several enemy ships simultaneously. The fleet staggered, struggling to regain coordination. Captain Mira smiled faintly. "They underestimated us. We are not a species to be intimidated. Humanity's strength lies in our courage, our intelligence, and our ability to adapt when the odds are against us." On the battlefield, human pilots executed daring maneuvers, exploiting openings in the enemy formations. Small, fast ships darted between larger vessels, delivering precise energy pulses that disabled shields and engines. The Council's forces, trained to fight with brute strength and rigid formations, struggled to respond to such unpredictability. Meanwhile, on the planet's surface, Dr. Torres and the exploration team discovered a hidden energy conduit within the ruins. "If we can activate it," she said, "we can extend a protective field around the planet and even provide support to our ships in orbit. It could give us a temporary advantage." With careful calculations, the humans channeled energy from the ancient system. The result was immediate: a protective barrier that absorbed incoming fire and gave their ships critical time to maneuver. The alien fleet, caught off guard by the unexpected technology, was forced to retreat momentarily to reassess their strategy. Zarek, still observing, was astonished. They are using ancient technology we do not even fully understand. Their creativity is boundless. How can a young species accomplish this? Orlan's anger was almost uncontrollable. This cannot continue. Humanity's courage and ingenuity are making fools of us. Prepare a new plan. We cannot allow them to survive this engagement. But even the Council's most advanced ships could not anticipate the humans' next move. Using the ruined systems, the humans created temporary energy corridors, allowing their ships to move undetected through space. These corridors enabled sudden strikes on enemy vessels, hitting weak points before the aliens could react. Captain Mira issued commands with calm precision. Divide into teams. Each team targets specific enemy vessels. Focus on strategy, not destruction. Disable them without unnecessary loss. Show them that humanity can fight with both strength and restraint. The human fleets executed the plan flawlessly. Several enemy ships were disabled, while others were forced to retreat. The Council species watching the battle unfold were forced to acknowledge a hard truth. Humans were no longer a minor, controllable species. They were a formidable force capable of intelligence-driven warfare. Even among the Council, some members began to reconsider their stance. Vela spoke softly, almost to herself. Perhaps we have been too rigid. Their courage, intelligence, and ingenuity, they are exceptional. There may be more to gain from understanding them than from destroying them. Back on the planet, Dr. Torres and her team activated another ancient device, projecting a holographic map of nearby star systems and energy conduits. The knowledge it contained could allow humans to access long-lost technology, communicate instantaneously across systems, and gain insight into civilizations that had vanished eons ago. Captain Mira observed the projection, understanding the significance. This is a responsibility, not just a tool. Humanity must proceed carefully. We have proven our strength, but our true power lies in wisdom and restraint. The alien fleet, battered and frustrated, temporarily withdrew. The humans had survived, adapted, and struck back with intelligence and courage. They had demonstrated that raw power alone was not enough to dominate humanity. On Earth, celebrations erupted. Humanity's first major victory against the Council fleet was broadcast across the globe. People cheered not only for the survival of their explorers, but for the demonstration of human ingenuity, courage, and unity. Sergeant Rami Singh addressed his team on the planet. We faced impossible odds and survived. We fought not just with weapons, but with brains and courage. Humanity has shown the galaxy what we are capable of. Captain Mira, aboard the Endurance, looked at her crew with pride. Today we proved that humanity cannot be underestimated. We fought with intelligence, strategy, and courage. We have survived their first attempt to intimidate us. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy now knows that humans are a force to be reckoned with. In the council chambers, the debate raged on. Zarek, frustrated and impressed, finally admitted, they are not reckless fools. Their courage, intelligence, and ingenuity make them a species unlike any other. We may have misjudged them completely, Orlan hissed in frustration. They survived because we hesitated. Next time we must strike with full force. Humanity cannot be allowed to grow stronger. Vela, however, remained calm. Perhaps it is time to reconsider. Humanity is not merely a threat, they are an example of resilience and creativity. There may be value in observing and even collaborating with them, rather than attempting to destroy them. But for humanity, the focus was not on the Council's fear or admiration. It was on the journey ahead. Ancient technology, unexplored star systems, and unknown civilizations awaited. Humanity had demonstrated that courage, intelligence, and unity could overcome overwhelming odds. They had struck back not just with weapons, but with the spirit of a species determined to survive, learn, and grow. Captain Mira addressed her crew one final time. The Council may have underestimated us, but we have proven our worth. We are explorers, innovators, and defenders of knowledge. Humanity will continue to rise not through fear or domination, but through courage, intelligence, and unity. This is our path, and we will follow it boldly. The galaxy had witnessed the first major clash of humanity against the Council fleet. The result was clear. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were a force capable of challenging assumptions, surviving impossible odds, and shaping the galaxy through courage, ingenuity, and unity. The storm had grown stronger, and humanity stood at its center, ready to face whatever the galaxy would throw at them next. The Council had learned an important lesson. Courage, intelligence, and unity could not be ignored. Humanity had struck vast species could achieve among the stars. The galaxy had changed. Humanity, once seen as a minor species confined to a small blue planet, had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. The Council's combined strike had failed, and the human explorers had not only survived, they had adapted, learned, and struck back with intelligence and courage that stunned even the oldest civilizations. Captain Mira Saeed stood on the bridge of the Endurance, looking out at the stars. The Council fleet had retreated to distant systems, but their presence was still felt. Humanity's boldness had shifted the balance of perception across the galaxy. No longer underestimated, humans had awakened the curiosity and respect of countless species. Lieutenant Akira Chen spoke quietly, studying the data streams from their recent encounters. Captain, our victories have spread across the galaxy. Many species are beginning to take notice. They're observing humanity's actions, sharing stories of our ingenuity and courage. We're becoming a symbol of resilience and determination. Mira nodded. We have a responsibility now. The Council may see us as a threat, but we are explorers first. We will continue to learn, to discover, and to show that humanity's strength is not just in technology or firepower, but in unity, intelligence, and courage. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted. Humanity's achievements were broadcast worldwide. People cheered not only for the survival of the explorers, but for the recognition that humans could compete with, and even outsmart, the most powerful species in the galaxy. Children looked to the stars with new dreams. Scientists worked tirelessly on new technology, and leaders realized that humanity's role in the galaxy was no longer secondary. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council convened once more. The chamber was tense, filled with holographic displays of human vessels, star systems, and ancient technology recently uncovered by humanity. Zarek, still struggling to understand, finally admitted, they survived our strike, used ancient technology in ways we could not predict, and struck back with intelligence and strategy. Humanity is not merely a minor species, they are extraordinary. Orlin hissed, frustrated but unable to deny the humans' accomplishments. They have defied us at every turn. Their courage, ingenuity, and unity are unlike anything we have ever encountered. We cannot treat them as before. They are equals in determination, if not yet in experience. Vela, calm as ever, spoke with conviction. It is time to reconsider our approach. Humans have shown they are capable of learning, adapting, and acting with wisdom. Perhaps cooperation rather than conflict is the path forward. We may gain far more from understanding humanity than from attempting to dominate them. Back in human space, Captain Mira and her crew had made a significant discovery. Within the ruins of an ancient civilization, they found a network of star systems connected by devices capable of instantaneous communication and transport. The technology could allow humanity to explore vast regions of space quickly, gather knowledge, and even assist other species. Dr. Lena Torres examined the final piece of the puzzle. These devices were left for intelligent species to find, but they require understanding and responsibility. If used wisely, humanity can connect entire star systems, learn from civilizations long gone, and even prevent conflicts by sharing knowledge. Mira looked at her crew. This is more than technology. This is a responsibility. Humanity has shown courage and ingenuity in our fight to survive. Now we must show wisdom. We will use this knowledge to explore, to learn, and to build alliances, not to conquer. With careful planning, humanity sent messages to the Council proposing a meeting. Unlike before, when communication had been met with threats, this time the humans spoke of cooperation, learning, and respect. The message carried both firmness and diplomacy, showing that humans were capable not only of courage and ingenuity, but of restraint and reason. The Council, intrigued and cautious, agreed. A neutral space station was selected as the meeting point, far from human or Council territory, symbolizing both peace and equality. Humans arrived in a fleet of small but elegant vessels, each showcasing advanced technology alongside a clear message. Humanity had risen, but without hostility. Captain Mira led the delegation. She stepped into the Council chamber, facing species that had once looked down on humanity. Her posture was calm, confident, and composed. We have crossed the line, not to challenge the Council but to claim our place in the galaxy. Humanity is strong, curious, and determined. We seek not war but understanding, cooperation, and knowledge. We wish to learn and share, not dominate or destroy. The Council members studied her carefully. Zarek's eyes reflected a mixture of caution and respect. Orlan's posture was tense, but he could not deny the human's accomplishments. Vela watched closely, seeing the truth in Mira's words. A dialogue began, careful and measured. Humans spoke of their discoveries, their victories, and their responsibilities. They explained how they had survived Council attacks not through reckless violence, but through intelligence, adaptation, and unity. The Council listened, initially skeptical, then slowly convinced by the evidence. Over hours of discussion, a consensus began to form. Humanity had proven that small, young species could rise to challenge assumptions about power and capability. They had survived the Council's might, explored unknown technology, and acted with courage and wisdom. It was clear, humanity could no longer be ignored or underestimated. Vela spoke finally, her voice resonating through the chamber. Humans have shown that courage, intelligence, and unity are as powerful as technology or fleets of warships. They have not sought conquest, only understanding. They deserve a place among the Council, not as subjects but as partners in exploration and knowledge. Orlan remained hesitant, but he nodded slightly. Their victories and restraint cannot be denied. They have reshaped our perception. Humans may be young, but they are a force that commands respect. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter. With the Council's reluctant agreement, humanity was formally recognized as a participant in galactic affairs. They were granted access to shared knowledge, allowed to explore previously restricted regions, and welcomed into dialogue with other species. This recognition was not only a political milestone, it was a symbol of what courage, ingenuity, and unity could achieve. Back on Earth, the announcement was met with celebration. Humanity had not only survived the Council's challenges, they had earned respect and forged a new path for the species. Across the globe, people gazed at the stars with renewed hope and determination. Captain Mira addressed her crew one final time in orbit. "We have crossed a line and the galaxy has noticed. We have proven that humanity cannot be underestimated, and we have done so without violence or recklessness. Our journey is only beginning. There are still mysteries to uncover, civilizations to learn from, and knowledge to share. Humanity will rise not through fear, but through courage, intelligence, and unity." Exploration teams prepared to visit new star systems, using both Council knowledge and ancient technology discovered in the ruins. Each new journey was approached with care and determination, combining the lessons of courage with the responsibility of wisdom. Humanity had learned that true power was not just survival, it was the ability to adapt, understand, and inspire. Across the galaxy, other species began to take notice. Small and overlooked civilizations, inspired by humanity's rise, began to explore their own potential. The courage, ingenuity, and unity of one species had set a precedent for many others, that even the smallest and youngest could rise to reshape the galaxy. The Galactic Council, though initially reluctant, began to appreciate the value of humanity. They had observed, tested, and even attempted to intimidate, but the humans had shown them something unexpected, that spirit, intellect, and determination could change perceptions and outcomes. Humanity's place among the stars was now secure, but the responsibility remained. Captain Mira knew that the journey ahead would bring challenges, discoveries, and difficult choices. Yet with courage, intelligence, and unity, humans were ready for whatever awaited them. The storm that had begun with a simple breach of the neutral zone had transformed into a new era. Humanity had awakened not only to its potential, but to its responsibility. They had crossed the line and, in doing so, had reshaped the galaxy's perception of what a small, determined species could achieve. Captain Mira looked out at the stars one last time, her voice soft but determined. "The galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. We have shown courage, intelligence, and unity. We will continue to explore, to learn, and to rise. Our story is just beginning, and the universe will remember our name." The Council had learned a profound lesson. Strength was not measured only by fleets or ancient power, but by the courage to face the unknown, the intelligence to adapt, and the unity to act together. Humanity had proven all three, and in doing so, had inspired a galaxy to see beyond assumptions, hierarchies, and fear. In the vastness of space among the stars, a new order had begun. Humanity had crossed the line, and with their courage, ingenuity, and unity, they had changed the galaxy forever. The blue planet of Earth, once a small and quiet world, had become the symbol of what any determined species could achieve. Across the stars, whispers of humanity's rise spread, inspiring hope, respect, and even, in the vast emptiness of space, silence reigned for billions of kilometers. Stars glimmered like distant fires, cold and distant, while planets spun quietly in their lonely orbits. Yet somewhere in the far reaches of the galaxy, a desperate cry pierced the silence, a signal unlike any other. The Valerians, a once great civilization of pale, elongated beings with translucent skin, had sent a call for help. It was not a normal distress signal. It carried urgency, fear, and hope all at once. Their cities, shining towers of crystal and light, were fading. Their energy grids, once the most advanced in their sector, were collapsing, draining the life from their planet. Entire regions of their world had gone dark, and their people weakened with every passing day. For millennia, many species had learned to ignore the weak, the dying, or the desperate. The galaxy had grown cautious and cold. There were always risks in responding to a distress signal. Many civilizations saw it as a trap, a lie, or simply too dangerous to intervene. Some even whispered that it was the natural order, the weak must fall, and only the strong survived. But humanity was different. Aboard the starship Dauntless, orbiting the edge of a nearby star system, the signal was received with urgency. Commander Elena Harper leaned over the glowing console, her sharp eyes tracing the sequence of numbers and patterns that formed the Valerian message. The crew watched silently, sensing the weight of the moment. "Commander," said Lieutenant Armin Singh, the ship's communications officer, "this is unlike anything we've ever received. It's not just a call for help. It's a plea, almost personal." Elena nodded, her fingers hovering over the console. She had trained her entire life to make decisions in moments like this. And now, staring at the blinking signal, she knew what she had to do. "Plot a course to the source," she said. "Set maximum warp. We are going to help them." A ripple of surprise passed through the crew. Most other species would have hesitated. Most other species would have sent drones or ignored it entirely. But humans acted. That was their nature. Courage, curiosity, and empathy often overrode caution, and in moments like this, that combination made them unpredictable and remarkable. As the Dauntless accelerated into uncharted space, the crew studied every detail of the signal. The Valerians' civilization had once been prosperous, their technology advanced, their cities radiant. But the signs of collapse were evident. Energy readings showed massive depletion. Atmospheric sensors indicated regions of the planet were losing heat. Life support systems, even in the wild, were failing. "This is worse than I thought," said Dr. Lila Moreno, the ship's xenobiologist. Her voice trembled, though she tried to hide it. "Entire ecosystems are dying. If we don't reach them soon, the species itself might not survive." Elena's jaw tightened. "Then we reach them. We learn. We save them. That's what humans do." The journey through the stars was long. Even at maximum warp, it would take weeks to reach the Valerian system. The crew encountered vast fields of asteroids, cosmic storms that crackled with electrical energy, and gravity wells that threatened to pull the ship into oblivion. At every turn, human ingenuity shone. Armand adjusted the navigation thrusters to slip through a dense asteroid field. "Other species would have turned back," he said, a note of pride in his voice. "They would have said it's too dangerous. But we're here. We don't give up." Lila smiled faintly. "It's human stubbornness, I suppose. Or maybe hope." Hope was exactly what the Valerians needed, and humans carried it like a torch into the darkness. As days passed, fragments of the Valerian message were decoded. Their language was complex, full of light-based symbols and harmonic tones, but within the patterns the humans could sense the emotion, fear, desperation, and a faint glimmer of trust. Someone, or something, had to answer. and humans had answered. On the bridge, Elena gazed at the swirling lights of a distant nebula. It was beautiful and deadly, a reminder of the vastness of space and the fragility of life within it. "We are entering uncharted space," she said quietly. "No map, no guidance. Only our courage and each other." Her words hung in the air. Courage was not a guarantee of success, but without it, nothing was possible. The human crew worked tirelessly, running simulations, checking systems, and preparing for first contact. During one long night of travel, engineer Marco Ruiz walked to the observation deck. Outside, stars streaked by in long lines of light. "Do you ever wonder," he said, "why we always seem to be the ones answering the call?" Lila joined him. "Because no one else will? Maybe. Or maybe it's because humans care. Even when it's dangerous. Even when it seems hopeless." Marco nodded. "I hope they'll make it. I hope we can actually help them." Elena entered the room then, her presence commanding yet gentle. "We will help them," she said firmly. "We're not just answering a call. We're proving that life can matter, no matter how far away it is. Humanity doesn't turn away." Weeks turned into days, and the Valerian system finally appeared on the sensors. A pale blue planet orbited a dim, dying sun. Energy readings confirmed the worst. Much of the surface was dark, lifeless, or unstable. Yet signals of weak activity remained. There were still survivors. "Prepare for orbital insertion," Elena ordered. The ship descended toward the planet with careful precision. Every crew member knew the stakes. They weren't here to conquer or to study. They were here to save. As they entered orbit, the first signs of Valerian cities came into view. Towering, crystalline spires glimmered faintly in patches surrounded by vast dark regions where energy grids had failed. The planet seemed to pulse weakly, as if struggling to hold on to life itself. On the communications deck, Armin worked frantically to establish a direct link with the planet's surviving population. At first, only static responded. Then, a faint harmonic voice, trembling with relief, emerged. You answered?" it asked, weak and incredulous. Elena smiled. "We did. We're here to help." The Valerians gasped collectively, their faces pale but hopeful. They had sent their calls across the stars, expecting silence. And yet, here were humans, the distant, unpredictable species who had decided that helping was worth the risk. "Humanity. You are." The voice trailed off, overwhelmed with emotion. Elena's heart ached at the sound. "We don't leave anyone behind," she said softly. "Show us what we can do." And so, humanity's journey into the unknown had truly begun. Beyond the nebulae, through asteroid storms and past distant suns, a small crew of humans faced the impossible. Yet their courage, empathy, and ingenuity would shine where others had turned away. In the cold darkness of space, a single truth became clear. When the galaxy begged for help, only humanity answered the call. But this was only the beginning. The real challenge awaited on the planet's surface, where survival would require not just courage, but understanding, invention, and a strength that no one, not even the Valerians, had seen before. Elena looked at her crew, determination in her eyes. "Get ready," she said. "We are going down there. We are going to save them, and we are going to prove that hope, courage, and humanity can light even the darkest corners of the universe." As the Dauntless descended, its engines glowing, against the fading light of the dying planet, the silent cry of the Valerians finally had an answer. And that answer was human. The Dauntless moved steadily toward the Valerian planet, its engines glowing like a comet streaking through the dark. Outside, space stretched endlessly, fields of stars, swirling nebulae, and drifting asteroids that seemed to float in silence. Yet this silence hid danger. The galaxy was not always kind to travelers, especially those who dared to go where no one else would. "Commander, sensors are picking up gravitational anomalies ahead," said Lieutenant Armin Singh, his fingers flying over the controls. The console displayed wobbles in space-time, dangerous zones where even minor miscalculations could crush a ship. Elena Harper studied the readings carefully. "Plot a course around the strongest anomalies," she ordered. "But maintain speed. The Valyrians don't have much time." The crew worked in quiet harmony. Each human aboard the Dauntless knew their role, and yet they also knew the mission was bigger than them. It was about life, alien life, fragile and in peril. That sense of responsibility fueled them, pushing them to overcome obstacles that might have terrified other species. Despite the risks, humanity thrived on challenges. Where other civilizations saw impossibility, humans saw opportunity. The Dauntless slipped through a narrow asteroid field with precise maneuvers, its engines adjusting mid-flight to dodge giant rocks hurtling at thousands of kilometers per hour. "Other species would have turned back," said engineer Marco Ruiz, checking the thrusters. "But not us." Lila Moreno, the xenobiologist, smiled. "No, humans are stubborn, or maybe hopeful. I think we refuse to give up because we believe that life, any life, is worth saving." Marco nodded. "I hope the Valyrians know that." Time passed slowly in the cold, silent vacuum of space. Days blended into nights, though the stars never faded. During long watches, the crew shared stories of past missions, of planets saved, of challenges overcome. It was a quiet reminder that humans had always been explorers, problem solvers, and survivors. The galaxy had tested them countless times, and they had survived not because they were strongest, but because they refused to quit. Then, a new obstacle appeared, a massive nebula, its swirling gases dense and electrically charged. The Dauntless would have to travel through it to reach the Valyrian system. Sensors warned of fluctuating energy readings and unpredictable turbulence. Even small ships could be ripped apart inside. "Commander," Armin said, frowning at the display, "this nebula could disable our engines. Our shields might not hold for long." Elena studied the swirling colors on the screen. Green, blue, and violet clouds shifted in impossible patterns. "We go through it," she said firmly. "Other species would wait for weeks, maybe months, for a safe path. We don't have that luxury. Humanity doesn't wait, we act." With careful calculations, the Dauntless entered the nebula. Lightning-like bolts of energy danced across its shields, causing alarms to beep and flash. The crew worked furiously, adjusting shields, stabilizing engines, and rerouting power. Sparks flew from the console when a surge hit, but humans adapted. They improvised, fixed, and learned from every second. Outside the viewport, the nebula glowed and twisted, beautiful and deadly. Elena pressed her hand to the glass, feeling a strange mixture of awe and fear. "Every danger we face makes this mission more important," she said softly. "If we succeed, we'll prove that courage matters. That hope can survive even here in the void." Finally, after tense hours, the Dauntless emerged from the nebula unscathed. The crew exhaled collectively, relief flooding the bridge. Their journey was far from over, but their resilience had carried them through another impossible obstacle. Weeks of travel had given the humans more insight into the Valyrians. Their signals, partially decoded, told a story of a civilization slowly collapsing. Energy grids had failed, cities were going dark, and ecosystems were dying. The Valyrians themselves were weak, their bodies fragile from a lack of power and resources. "This is worse than we thought," Lila said one evening, staring at the readings. "Entire regions of the planet are lifeless. If we don't act quickly, the species itself might disappear." Elena nodded. "Then we act quickly. That's what humans do. We don't hesitate. We adapt, we endure, and we fight for life." During the journey, humans began preparing for first contact. They studied Valyrian biology from scattered records and visual signals, learning about their energy-based metabolism, translucent skin, and delicate structures. Communication attempts had been partially successful, though trust was fragile. The Valyrians had lived long enough to know that most species ignored calls for help. Humanity's response was unprecedented. On one long night, Marco and Lila walked to the observation deck. Stars streaked by as the Dauntless continued its journey. "Do you think they'll survive?" Marco asked quietly. Lila hesitated, watching the distant planet growing larger on the sensors. "If humans can reach them in time, yes. But it won't be easy. Their world is dying. Their systems are failing. And we can't just throw technology at the problem. We'll have to understand it, learn it, and fix it. That's the only way." Marco nodded. "I'm glad we're humans. We're the only ones who would do this. Elena joined them then, her presence calm and commanding. We are here because life matters. It doesn't matter if it's human or alien. Courage, empathy, and ingenuity, those are what make us unique. That's why we answer the calls that others ignore. As the Dauntless neared the Valerian system, the planet came into clearer view. It was a pale blue-green orb, orbiting a dim, dying sun. Large regions were dark, cities dimmed to faint glimmers. The planet seemed to pulse weakly, as if clinging to life by sheer will. Sensors confirmed the worst fears. Energy levels were dangerously low, life support systems faltering, and ecosystems collapsing. Yet signs of life remained. The Valerians were still there, struggling, waiting for salvation. Prepare for orbital insertion, Elena commanded. We don't have much time. Their survival depends on us. As the crew worked to stabilize the ship for descent, Armin received another faint transmission. The Valerian's harmonic voice was weak but clear. You answered. It asked, trembling with disbelief. Elena smiled. We did. We're here to help. The relief in the voice was palpable. The Valerians had sent their calls across the galaxy, expecting silence. And yet here were humans, unpredictable, courageous, and compassionate. They had come when no one else would. Throughout the journey, the human crew had faced unknown dangers, adapted to impossible challenges, and prepared to save a civilization. Their actions were a testament to the best of humanity: bravery, ingenuity, and the refusal to turn away from those in need. As the Dauntless approached orbit, the crew felt the weight of responsibility settle on their shoulders. The challenges ahead would test them more than space itself had. But they were ready. They had to be. Failure was not an option. Elena looked at her crew, determination shining in her eyes. Remember this, she said. We are humans. We act when others hesitate. We endure when others give up, and we will do whatever it takes to save them. The Valerian planet, fragile and fading, awaited the first touch of human hands and minds. In the darkness of space, humanity's light shone brighter than any star, and so, the Dauntless prepared to descend, carrying hope across the stars, proving once again that when the galaxy cried for help, only humanity answered. The journey into the unknown was not over. The real challenges lay ahead on the dying world itself. But if humans could survive and adapt to the dangers of space, perhaps they could also restore life and hope to a civilization on the brink of extinction. The silent cry of the Valerians had found its answer, and that answer was human. The Dauntless hovered above the Valerian planet, its engines glowing softly against the dim, dying sunlight. Below the planet was a patchwork of faintly glowing cities and vast dark regions. It was beautiful in a fragile, trembling way and terrifying all at once. Humanity had reached a world on the brink of collapse, a civilization struggling against the unstoppable forces of nature and failing technology. Commander, Arman Singh said, pointing at the readings, energy levels are far lower than expected. Their cities are barely functioning. Life signs are weak. If we don't act quickly, we may not find survivors in some regions. Elena Harper's jaw tightened. She looked down at the planet, her heart heavy with responsibility. We're not here to watch them fail, she said quietly. We're here to save them. Prepare the landing teams. We descend carefully. Every life counts. The crew moved with calm precision, yet their minds were alert to the dangers that awaited. They had studied the Valerians from afar, but nothing could prepare them for what it was like to see the planet close up. Massive towers of crystalline light, once radiant, were darkened and fractured. Streets that should have been alive with energy were silent, and yet faint glows indicated small pockets of life still holding on. On the communications deck, Armin attempted to establish direct contact. Static filled the speakers, then a fragile, trembling voice emerged. Humans, you have come. Thank you, it said. The Valerian voice trembled, full of both hope and disbelief. Elena nodded. We are here to help. Show us where you need assistance most. The Valerians gave directions, guiding the Dauntless to a central city whose energy core was failing. As the humans prepared to descend, Dr. Lila Moreno studied the readings. Their technology is unlike anything we've seen, she said. It's advanced but delicate. One wrong move and we could do more harm than good. Elena placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we learn first. Then we act. That's how humans operate. Step by step, carefully, and we don't give up. The landing pods detached from the Dauntless, gliding toward the surface. The Valyrians watched from above, their pale faces glowing faintly with a mix of fear and hope. For them, no other species had answered their call. Most had ignored it entirely. Humanity was an exception, a force that refused to abandon life. The humans touched down in the central city, stepping onto streets that were cracked, dimly lit, and trembling under the strain of failing energy grids. The air was thin and shimmering with residual energy fields, but it was breathable. "Stay close," Elena ordered, scanning the surroundings. "We don't know what else might fail or collapse." The Valyrians guided them through twisting corridors of crystal towers. Their steps were weak, their bodies fragile. Humans assisted them carefully, offering support when needed. Every human action carried both practicality and compassion. Lifting a Valyrian, guiding them past collapsing walls, stabilizing small energy conduits along the way. "This is incredible," Lila whispered, examining the alien systems. "Their energy technology is completely different from anything we know. It's based on living energy, flows that move almost like blood through the planet itself. If it stops, the cities fail, the ecosystems fail, their lives fail." Marco Ruiz knelt by a failing energy node. "We'll have to reverse engineer their system. But it's delicate. We can't just power it up. We need to understand the flows first." Elena stepped forward, observing her team. "Then we study, we adapt. We solve the problem. That's what humans do." As the day passed, humans worked tirelessly. They examined energy nodes, recalibrated failing systems, and slowly brought some regions back online. Lights flickered on in abandoned streets. Small energy pulses hummed through the crystal towers. Valyrians watching gasped in relief. Some even began to regain strength, their bodies reacting to the restored energy. One Valyrian approached Elena, their pale, translucent skin glowing faintly. "Humans, you are. Unlike any species we have known," they said softly. "You risk yourselves for those you do not even know." Elena smiled. "Life matters. Every life. That is what we believe. That is what humanity stands for. But not everything went smoothly. In some regions, the energy flows were so unstable that humans had to improvise. A collapse in one tower nearly trapped a landing team. Quick thinking and teamwork saved them. But it was a harsh reminder that this mission was dangerous. "Commander, some regions are completely offline," Armin reported. "We don't even know if anyone is alive there." Elena's gaze hardened. "Then we find a way. Humans never quit. We will not leave anyone behind." The Valyrians shared their knowledge cautiously, teaching the humans about energy channels, life support flows, and the fragile balance of their cities. Communication was difficult, but the humans were patient, listening, asking questions, and learning quickly. By evening, small victories had begun to appear. A district that had been dark for weeks now glowed faintly. Valyrians walked with more confidence. Children who had been hidden for safety peeked from safe areas, their curiosity overcoming fear. This is amazing," Lila said softly. "If humans hadn't answered the call, none of this would be happening." Elena looked over the city, feeling the weight of both achievement and responsibility. "We've made a start," she said. "But the planet is fragile. The systems are delicate, and the Valyrians are weak. We have to keep going, one step at a time." Suddenly, alarms blared across the city. A section of the energy grid was collapsing rapidly, sending pulses of unstable energy into nearby towers. The humans rushed to the site, coordinating quickly with the Valyrians. Using a combination of human engineering and Valyrian knowledge, they stabilized the core, preventing a cascade of failures. A Valyrian elder approached Elena afterward, their voice trembling with emotion. "You humans, you risk everything. You fight when others would flee. You protect when others would abandon. You are our saviors." Elena shook her head gently. "We are just humans doing what humans do best, helping when help is needed. That is what matters. That is why we are here." As night fell on the fragile city, the humans worked tirelessly, coordinating repairs, stabilizing energy flows, and preparing for what remained of the planet's failing systems. The Valyrians rested in small safe zones, recovering their strength with the restored energy. For the humans, sleep was brief and limited, but they did not complain. Every hour mattered. Every action mattered. They had traveled across the stars to save a civilization on the brink, and they would not fail. Elena stood on a balcony of the central tower, looking out over the city. The soft glow of restored energy illuminated the streets. For the first time in weeks, a faint smile of hope appeared on the Valyrians' faces. "This is only the beginning," she said softly. "We've learned their systems, helped their people, and restored some energy. But there is much more to do. Their world is fragile, their civilization at risk, and their future uncertain. We have to be ready for what comes next." And in that moment, as stars glittered above the horizon and the city hummed faintly with restored life, it became clear that humanity's presence on the planet was more than a rescue. It was a promise. A promise that life, no matter where it existed in the universe, would not be abandoned. The Valyrians had sent their silent cry across the stars, expecting silence. Yet here were humans, defying danger, challenges, and the vast emptiness of space to answer. Their courage, compassion, and ingenuity were the difference between life and extinction. And so, humanity began its work on the Valyrian world, learning, adapting, and proving that when the galaxy called for help, humans would answer. The real challenge, however, had only just begun. The planet's failing systems, unstable energy flows, and fragile life forms would test the humans more than any cosmic storm or asteroid field. Yet Elena and her crew were determined. Humans did not give up. Humans solved problems. Humans saved lives, and the Valyrians, watching, began to hope.